I wanted to take a minute to stop and talk about imagination and perception. When is a moment when is the last time you really sat there and thought about how you use your imagination on a daily basis and the perceptions that you bring with you with your imagination? Or just for the matter of argument here, the perceptions that you bring within your mindset, the filters that you are walking around with. So let me talk a little bit about imagination. Imagination, first and foremost, is what gives humans our capability to progress within a society. You say, well, why? Well, problem solving in and of itself is an imaginative process. Just imagine for a second. Sorry for the But just imagine for a second, how do you formulate a hypothesis? Well, you have to visualize abstract concepts, right? You have to say, here is this stick, wooden stick, and that wood over there is burning. And if I put this stick within that fire, the two have to be, you have to observe, formulate a hypothesis, visualize that abstract concept within your mind, and then design an experiment. Put the stick in the fire. Then interpret the data. What happens to the stick? Then problem solve. And then as you do that, you extrapolate findings and you grow from there. There's many different ways of thinking and problem solving, and then having metrics in building on to all of this. The basic point there is, on a daily basis, we're taking, stuff that we find and putting them into holes that fit. We're problem solving. With that problem solving takes the imaginative concepts, takes the imaginative abstract concepts and puts them together. Now, what does that have to do with perception? Where does perception come into that? Well, think about it for a second. If you treated everything as if it was burning, you wouldn't want to touch it because you knew you would get burnt. You wouldn't want to move. You would think that your clothes are burning. So you would feel continuously this negative experience, maybe even some pain from creating it inside your mind. This is what we call a series of filters in a mindset. The series of filters in a mindset can be a negative side or a positive side. The negative thinking, well, if you're using a series of negative filters within your scope of mindset and your problem solving, how does that impact the problem? How does that resolve the problem? Does it create a cycle within that problem solving to where you solve the problem, but it was from a negative mindset, and therefore the problem might arise again in a negative way? I mean, you find this within humans all the time, right? Between human and human, each person, if I come at you with a bad attitude, a negative mindset, thinking that you did this, that, or the other, but you didn't. is just my interpretation, my imagination. How are you going to relay back to me? You're going to relay back to me in a negative way. And well, that creates another problem for me, right? I then have to escalate. And if it's within the same frame of mindset, I escalate in a negative way back to you. This is where relatively violence comes from. So being able to shift your mindset, understand where you're coming from, and say, negative isn't the way to go. And in fact, most entrepreneurs, highly successful entrepreneurs, are rather um, opportunity seekers, and they're in what is called the growth mindset. They seek and find opportunities and challenges, and they go forth with these challenges and say, I got this. Most champions, as they're, if you're a tennis champion, as they miss an opportunity to score a point, I'll get it next time. They say it immediately within milliseconds in their mind because they are growth mindset. They're willing to take on the opportunity to get it next time. So it's very important how you see a problem and how you go forth with problem solving. Perception is, I would say, 95% of your life. And if you have a series of filters that put you in a positive mindset, or a series of filters that put you in a growth mindset, then you're going to grow exponentially throughout your life. And that impacts everybody around you, because how you are perceived by others is how you repeatedly do to others. Going back to it, imagination and perspective is crucial for your daily process. So, what can you do? What is it that you can do to strengthen this skill? I would take a moment and just for a second visualize in your mind a moment of joy that you have already had within your life. And as you take this moment of joy, find where it expresses itself. Feel the feeling within your body. And for me right now, the moment of joy is expressing itself right here, right there. And then you don't necessarily have to think and remember the memory. Take that feeling and hold on to it. And then let that empower you to expand that down into your fingertips. Expand that joy throughout your body. Amplify it. You could do this at any moment in time during the day. And just practicing that a minute here and a minute there throughout your day will slowly work you towards staying within a more positive mindset, frame of mind or mindset. Sorry about that. But, and guess what you're doing? You're creating an opportunity for your imagination, your creativity to grow. You're highlighting a better, positive way within your perspective. And this brings ultimately a improved focus within yourself. It also creates a level of resilience within emotions, because you can then be in a lightly negative situation and pull yourself out of it and say, no, I choose to feel this moment of joy. And then disassociate with the negative situation. And quite often, when you do that, you have a different perspective. You're at a different level of problem solving. So you can problem solve the negative situation in a higher way. Einstein says that the problem that is created cannot be solved at that same level of thinking. It's a uh, rough quote, but you guys get the point. Unlocking creativity fuels innovation, fuels problem solving, expands your possibilities, unlocking ways to change your perspective, how you perceive, especially if you're in the ability to be more positive and take on possibilities and challenges, adversities within a positive mindset. This reframes things to be flexible, be at a higher level than the problem that's originated. It boosts your emotional resilience and it improves your focus all around. I really do hope this has helped, but the crucial thing I would like to plant is that seed that your frame of mind is 95% of your life. If you're going out there and you're feeling negative, only you can change that. This also creates problems within your life. If you solve problems in a negative way, then negative problems will arise again. So being able to change that perspective is literally life changing. Once again, I hope this helps.